you doing there, sweetie? Yeah, I bet you're a sweetie. So I figured I'd have another truck talk. Say hello. Hello. You can ride home to the ranch with me. I got some supplies out in town. I figured, well, we just share the ride back to the house. How's that? My hair's is out of place. That's better. So, how you been? What you been doing? So, the coronavirus is the big talk of the day. It's shut down the National Basketball Association, the NBA, and it's shut down. It's pushed back. It hasn't shut it down. It's just pushed back Major League Baseball opening day. That sucks. So, Major League Baseball going to be a little slow this year to start. But other than that, it should be pretty good. Yeah, they got everybody out here buying toilet paper, you know. The 36 pack. You know, it gets me about buying 36 pack of toilet paper. I'd be buying a 36 pack of chicken noodle soup or something. You know? Anyway, let's get the hell out of here. Alright, so horses are doing good. We got them laid back in that west pasture and they've been doing pretty good there. All you safety Nazis, I put my freaking seatbelt on. Can I say Nazi? I guess I could. Alright, well, safety first. So the horses are doing pretty good. Big question right now is how much feed and food am I going to have to lay up? Somebody does something stupid like decide to lay off a bunch of people because this coronavirus is getting everybody freaked out. I think what will happen is we'll probably work from the house for a while, see how bad that is. The paychecks will probably still keep on coming, but it'd be terrible for a lot of people. They got to dig in their savings and come up short. You know, people living paycheck to paycheck. That's pretty hard to live. Pretty hard living. So I hope you can hear okay. I got the window down. Boy, it's a beautiful day. Absolutely gorgeous. Swap windows here to lit my vibe. So, supposed to have rain here the next couple of days. And rain's doing good. We got about an inch worth of growth on the grass this weekend because of the rain from last week. We're supposed to get about 2 inches of rain here in the next 3-4 days. So main idea is we get the grass up on the pasture up around 3-4 inches. They ate it down pretty far last spring, so it didn't have a good winter. It was short. So we've compensated with some of that, and hopefully we'll have a nice recovery this spring, and the horses will, boy, they love that good green grass, you know, and there's something to that, you know, if I don't tell you, only 3 things a horse ever needed was grass and sunshine and good clean water, and that's really true. Those horses get out there head down and just doing what a horse does, go over and get a drink, and then they'll go in and they'll lay down in the sun and just enjoy the sun. They'll be sitting out there just as calm and as quiet. You know, they've probably been nibbling all night long. It's not that noisy. I roll that window up. And but they know when to enjoy, my God. They get out there in that sun and it just makes them relax. They put their head down and they just kind of go to snoozing. You won't see that out in the wild with those Mustangs very much because it's a big old bump. Kind of like my first ex-wife. Yeah, big old bump. Yeah. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, the horses out in the wild. Yeah, they won't. You won't see them laying down much. It'd have to be a real special time because they're very conscious of predators. But once the horses start to feel very comfortable with the environment and stuff, you watch them, they'll lay down a lot more. They may not be there for a long time, but they will definitely lay down for a big period of time. See if we can make a left turn here. I'm gonna go in and get some supplies. And see what we can come up with there. It's a nice and easy day. This is one of our favorite home and ranch places. Oh, we'll just pull right in here and there we go. See, it's nice you come driving with me, huh? Maybe we'll go out in the mud sometime here. Let that off. And just relax and have another truck talk and smoke my pipe if you don't mind. Boy, these people have this coronavirus has really got them spun up. They don't know what to do now. So they're saying that the disinfectants and everything is like walking off the shelves and the toilet paper, you know. So if they go by the measurement of what they've seen out there in China, it'd be like if they had to shut everything down, it'd be like 3 months. And folks living paycheck to paycheck, you have a hard time doing that, Daddy-o. Gonna have to be like that Hank Williams song, you know. Old country boy can't survive, you know. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for being self-sufficient. You know, remember, there was a lady on TV that was saying, you know, if you're trying to save up money, you got to have 6 months worth of your salary saved up. Because typically it'll take you 6 months to find a new job. And that's at least true, you know. Unemployment will help if you can get on that. But then, you know, I think it boils down to a couple of simple things. It's like you can't afford to live paycheck to paycheck. You got to be socking money away. Instead of spending money on kids and $100 tennis shoes and all that kind of crap, be taking that money and buying canned food, setting it up, putting away money aside in the bank, or buying gold, or putting something away for a rainy day. I mean, it's getting the warning signs keep appearing, you know, like don't live so close to the vest, and expand a bit, get out and maybe think about camping, think about having some food, think about, you know, if you had an issue like a tornado hit you, do you have, you know, some supplies? Do you have a storage place that's got some stuff kept in it where you can kind of recover? Or do you have the funds in a bank where you can recover? Can you turn to your relatives or somebody? You know, what are you going to do? So there's a concentric ring theory that's out there that you can look up. And basically it starts with, have you got your personal issues, you know, in line? You know, in case you were to die early, does your insurance there, your burial stuff? And there's a whole bunch of things that are inside that ring, like your will and all that extra stuff that no matter what happens, you need to, you know, you ain't gonna live forever, so you gotta have all that stuff taken care of. And then outside of that, you know, the things that are close to your home, like what happens if you had a burglary? What happens if, you know, there was a tornado or a flood? You don't want to get caught like them people down there in New Orleans in that Katrina. That's bad. And then, we had a tornado come up here and hit more. I mean, that just devastates a lot of people. They got no place to turn. Everything they had wrecked by a tornado. And you got to start over. And that's when you find out who your friends really are. That, people come to your aid. Have you thought about what you would do in a situation like that? And I think it's kind of like a Boy Scout mentality. It's like, be prepared as much as you can. Have money stocked away in a bank. Even some cash someplace or something that's tradable, like bullets. Yeah, that's right, bullets. Bullets or coffee or cigarettes or tobacco. Now, if we was in a hard time, I'd have to break into my stash. And as long as we're not in hard times, I can keep smoking what I like. And have fun with it. Don't get all tight and, freaky and, But on the other hand, the U.S. government couldn't find a way to prepare the country for different catastrophes, so they adopted a zombie apocalypse. They said that, if you could survive or prepare for here comes an ambulance. Somebody going to the hospital. They said if you could prepare for a zombie apocalypse, you would have prepared for just about anything that would come your way, And I'll be darned if it isn't true, It's kind of funny. I mean, you think about people that are walking the street and, trying to eat other people, and it reminds you of bath salts and stuff like that. So I guess it'd be possible. But the main thing is, set some stuff aside on a regular basis. Lay some stuff back. Have a second area where you have some of that stuff laid back, or at least a bank account where you got some money put aside where it's not going to hit you so hard. But that's one of them life lessons, I met a fellow the other day. He wanted to buy one of them real fancy GTO cars. Now, mind you, he's got 2 trucks, so he's going to have to sell his fancy new truck because he wants a GTO. And I said, well, why don't you sell that old truck and just drive that old truck instead of selling everything? He goes, no, I got to have a GTO. Ooh, So I told him, I said, there's a life lesson here to learn, man. Put that money in the bank. You sell that big fancy truck if you want. Drive that old, standard, and it'll get you there. You don't need anything fancy. I mean, you can spend a lot of money on a pickup truck. And then again, you can fix one up and it'll last you a long time. You don't have to spend a lot of money on it. So what do you think he did? Yeah, he went out and sold his truck and got that new GTO. And I said, well, there's going to come a time when you're going to need that extra $1,500 or that extra $3,500. And you're going to look left and you're going to look right, up and down. Ain't going to be nothing there. Ain't going to be nothing there because you didn't put anything there. All right? So life is going to hit you with unexpected issues. Oh, Mama, can I borrow $700? Oh, Mama, can I buy $500? It's like, that's one thing. That sure is one thing. Sometimes you got to turn to a family member and say, man, I'm screwed. Can you help me out? And even though you laid stuff aside. So life can be pretty difficult on you. So, do the best you can. Prepare, get that stuff laid up. And hopefully it won't be so bad, that you can't recover. But I guess really what I'm trying to say is take the opportunity to invest in yourself, okay? The rest of the world don't care if you make it. They don't care at all. The only person that's going to care if you make it is you. And the person that needs to be looking out for you is you. And if you can do that, look out for yourself, then you can start looking out for other people. you know. But that's the coronavirus update. They said China's just now getting over it, starting to let those people go, and their hospitals are starting to show empty beds, which, you know, one would believe that those people made it, and would be sad if a lot of those people didn't make it. So Italy's now going into a lockdown, and they're pretty hardcore about it. So, you know, putting bread and eggs and milk and all that other stuff aside, canned goods, and you know, I remember a few years back when Obama was yakking about, you know, how he's going to take people's guns away, and a lot of people thought a civil war was going to start. So they packed all their goodies up, and they got their, you know, doomsday prepper stuff going. And now they're in pretty good shape. They got a year, maybe two supply laid up if they need to. And a lot of other people haven't got anything at all to fall back on. They're going to wind up being like they are in Katrina. It's like, you got no place to go, and if you think the federal government's going to come in to save your hide, you better think again, Daddy-o. Nobody coming to save your hide. But I did hear something on the news that I was very proud of. I did hear about the U.S. government sending a 747 overseas to pick up the Americans that had, I want to say they were in Japan or China, that had contracted the virus, and they brought them back and put them in military bases and stuff. And that's, you know, that's what you hope your country would do for you, you know. Yeah, having a country that'll look out for you. You know, having a country you're not afraid of. How about that one? You're not afraid of your country coming and soldiers banging down your door, taking your kids away. You're not afraid of, you know, voicing your opinion, you know. You're not afraid of somebody coming in and taking your rifles. And, you know, I'll just talk a little bit about that New Orleans thing that they did down there during Katrina, where they went around and from home to home and started to gather up guns because they were having shootings at night and stuff. The Supreme Court ruled on that. You can't do that, Daddy-o. You can go and patrol the streets, and if you find somebody out there with firearms, you can arrest them and take their firearms. But you cannot invade an individual's home and take their firearms from them. That is unconstitutional, and the Supreme Court ruled on that one. So we're not going to have any more of that horse doo-doo. So, which would be interesting if you want to, you could look that up, you know. Which is kind of goofy. It's kind of like, okay, so you know people are out there shooting each other, vandalizing, and so now you're going to go door to door and you're going to remove the only means of protection that these families have to keep those vandals and criminals out of their home and away from their family. Yeah. That's thinking for you. Let's take everybody's guns away. No. Leave the guns alone. Go ahead and catch the criminals. That's what you need to be doing. Find the people that are actively breaking the law. That's what the requirement is. And, well, you don't want to get me off on a firearm thing. Oh, no. Nope. But it does kind of surprise me with the other side of the flip side of it. You know, we have our children play video games and shooting games and World of Warcraft and, you know, triple super ops special agent kind of stuff and, you know, war of battle stuff here and all this other stuff. And just saturate. They let them saturate with hours and hours and hours, hundreds, thousands of hours of that in their head, you know. And then some guy gets goofy and he goes off and starts shooting kids in a schoolroom. That's nuts, you know. Now, here's the other thing. I don't think the video games cause that in everybody, but boy, it sure does make you wonder. It's like, We didn't have school shootings back in the 60s and 70s like that, you know. And the other part that's kind of interesting is that everybody played cowboys and Indians. Everybody played army. I mean, we had dirt clods that we threw at each other and hit each other in the head with dirt clods, with our plastic, AR-15, M1 kind of guns. And we'd sit out in fields and shoot each other, And we were, 6, 7 years old, 67, before 70. And we just grew up with the respect for firearms after that. Hunter safety courses. You don't see any of that stuff around here. Makes you wonder sometimes. A lot of the stuff I see nowadays is, I think you can boil it down to something pretty easy. Morality, where you have technology just outrun morality. That's all it is. Moral fibers almost seems like it's non-existent sometimes. Just general courtesy. But that's the way of the world. It swings like a pendulum. It'll swing back to being real free and open and everybody doing everything. And then pretty soon people will get tired of that and swing it back the other way. Things will become more conservative, and somewhere it'll find a happy medium. Life goes on. It's kind of like sitting here smoking my pipe, watching the world go by. Every car that you see coming down here's got one person in it. And we live a pretty rich lifestyle in this country. More so than I've seen about any other country, and I've been to several of them. They're nowhere near this place. Nowhere near the United States of America. This country has such a high standard of living, you have no idea of how high the standard is here. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a quiz. What's it take to be in the top 1/2 of 1% of the wage earners in the world? Any idea? Top 1/2 of 1% of the wage earners in the world. $55,000 a year puts you in the top 1/2 of 1% of the wage earners in the world. That means 99.5% of the people on this planet are making less than $55,000 a year. You ever wonder who the top 1% is? It's you. Yeah, not these super rich goofballs. There's a dog over there. Lady loading up her stuff. Well, I'm about out of time here. So I think we'll call this Truck Talk number 4. And well, I think sometimes it's just easiest to enjoy the pipe and let the world go by and do its thing. Everybody run around as fast as they can. You say, well, Mark, it looks like you're the only one in that pickup truck. No, sir. You look back there in that pickup truck and that bed's empty. In about 15 minutes, it's going to have a big old bale of hay in there for them horses. And, I went and I looked at them presses and all them electric cars and stuff, and I don't think I'd get that big bale of hay in that little itty bitty car. As a matter of fact, that big bale of hay would probably squish that itty bitty car. So, my weapon of choice is a 2014 F-150 XLT, just your standard Ford white pickup truck. Nothing special, but it sure gets the job done. It's a good old truck. I've had a little problem with my radio sometimes, but I stick that USB chip in there and listen to a little bit of road music. Got radio, just nothing but talking anyway. So I'm also thinking about getting a scraper. Well, it's actually a rake for the ranch. We need to run a good tractor rake through the property, and looks like I'm gonna have to drop some money on it. It's always something, but it's a good investment. It lasts a long time. Get a lot of stuff done with it. Nice to see the sun coming out again. I mean, you're starting to see the grass change, get the little buds come out on the tree. We're mid-March, almost out of winter. April come in. Be nice to have some days like this, just sit back and go fishing, drink a beer, kick your shoes off and relax. I did go by Sonic the other day, get me a cup of coffee. We got them Super Supreme burritos. They're pretty good. But, boy, I just don't seem to like that coffee. And it only comes in one size. And they don't put any cream and sugar. You got to put your own cream and sugar. And it's like, can you not just make a bigger cup of coffee and pour the cream and sugar in there so I don't have to mess it with them when I'm driving? McDonald's does it for you. So I get most of my morning coffee. I'll stop off and get a cup of coffee in the morning with cream and sugar. I have black coffee when I wake up in the morning. I like a little cream and sugar on the way to work. Cream and sugar makes the world go around. Imagine what it'd be like, no cream and sugar. Or butter. Yeah, go to the store and not have any butter on the shelves, no cream and sugar. Just a sad day. Alright, well, guess I'm about ready to go get my bale of hay. Old pipe's about burnt out. Have a little Dr. Pepper. I don't have any sponsors on this show. I ought to get some sponsors on there, When you're tired and hungry, have a Dr. Pepper. That's right, Dr. Pepper. Free advertising, or you got to turn the bottle around, because they don't want you selling their stuff without their contract. It's kind of like, this is a bottle of Coke. All right, well, we'll call that Truck Talk number 4 on the way to work. On the way to home. Picking up hay for the horses of the Triple X Rescue Ranch. It's Mark. Hoping y'all have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.